Imagine waking up one morning, and every voice you've ever known is gone. Your mother, your father, your brothers, your sisters, silenced by a sickness no one can escape. The streets where children once played are now empty, the doors of every home left open, and you are the only one still alive. This is the true and haunting journey of a child who survived the Black Death, alone. The year is 1347, and the plague moves like a shadow across Europe. Towns vanish overnight, villages once filled with laughter and work fall silent. And in one of these villages, a single child remains, barefoot, hungry and afraid. This child stumbles through the muddy paths where life once thrived. Their name is lost to time, but their story begins here. The doors of every hut swing open in the wind. No smoke rises from chimneys. The air smells of sickness, ash, and something worse, emptiness. A ragged doll dangles from the child's hand, its face blackened with soot, its stitched smile mocking the silence. This child has seen what no one should ever see, a mother's hand growing cold in theirs, a father's voice fading into coughs, brothers and sisters who never woke again. The memory clings to them, heavier than hunger. As they wander, the world feels strange. Chickens dart through the streets with no master to catch them. A bucket spills water slowly into the dirt, as though time itself froze in the moment the village died. Even the dogs no longer bark. They roam, wild, snarling at shadows. At night, the child curls against the wall of their empty hut, clutching the doll for comfort. But the silence is not complete. The wind rattles shutters as if someone knocks to be let in. A crow cries out from the rooftops, its call harsh and endless. And sometimes, just sometimes, the child swears they hear whispers, faint, almost like voices of those they lost. Fear becomes their only companion. And yet, so does determination. The wolves prowl outside the gates, eyes glowing in the dark. Hunger presses against the child's ribs and thirst scorches their throat. But something keeps them moving. A spark deep within, a will to survive. They do not yet know it, but this journey will take them beyond the ruins of their village, beyond the plague, beyond the whispers that chase them through the night. And so, on this lonely road of death and silence, begins the haunting tale of the Black Death child. Night is the cruelest time. The child huddles beside the blackened fire pit where warmth once lived. But now the cold creeps in like an enemy. Their tiny hands rub together, desperate for heat that never comes. The stars above feel distant, uncaring, as if the heavens have turned their eyes away from the earth. And then, the silence is broken. At first it is faint, a whisper so soft it could be the wind. But no wind calls their name. No wind sounds like a mother's voice. The child freezes, their heart races. It comes again, like villagers murmuring prayers in the distance, the same prayers whispered during the sickness. But this village is empty. The huts are silent. The graves outside the church are fresh and shallow. There are no voices left, still the whispers return. Sometimes they sound like comfort, sometimes like warning, and sometimes like something darker beckoning. The child dares not answer back. To speak into the dark feels dangerous, as if words might stir what lingers unseen. One night, desperate for shelter, they creep into the church. The wooden door creaks like a scream as it opens. Inside, the air is heavy with incense and rot. Candles long burned out, leave shadows thick on the stone walls. On the altar lies a book, its pages left open as if abandoned in haste. The child steps closer. The parchment is filled with strange symbols. Crosses, curses, warnings scribbled in a shaking hand. Do not enter the forest. The dead walk when unburied. The child does not understand the meaning, but fear tightens in their chest. Something is wrong here. Outside, the graves yawn open in the moonlight. Too many bodies, not enough time, not enough hands to bury them deep. The ground looks restless, as though it breathes. Then it comes. A sound, a scratching. Fingers or claws dragging through the soil. The child's breath catches in their throat. They cannot move. They cannot scream. And then terror breaks their stillness. They run, out of the church, through the silent huts, past the graves. Their bare feet slap the earth, their doll swinging wildly in their grip. They run until the whispers fade. until the scratching is far behind them, but the whispers, they will return. This is only the beginning. The child does not look back, not at the graves, not at the church, not at the whispers that seem to follow them through the night. Ahead lies a single dirt road, stretching far into the horizon. It is cracked and dry, yet slick with mud where carts once rolled. Now the road is empty, silent, except for the child's bare feet pressing forward step after step. The world outside the village is no kinder. Along the roadside lies a broken cart. Its wheels splintered, its contents scattered. But it is not filled with grain nor firewood, only bodies, piled high, covered in rags, abandoned by the living who feared to bury them. The child covers their nose, but the smell is everywhere, sweet, sick, and heavy. Farther ahead, the child finds a sight stranger still, a suit of armor, rusting in the mud. The knight who once wore it is gone. No footprints, no bones, only the hollow shell of protection, empty now, like everything else. The child clutches their doll tighter. The world feels cursed, each step heavier than the last, as though unseen eyes watch from the trees lining the road. Sometimes they swear they hear footsteps behind them. When they turn, nothing. At dusk, hope flickers, a bell tolls in the distance. A monastery bell. Its deep sound rolls through the hills like thunder, steady and calling. The child's heart leaps. Perhaps there are survivors. Perhaps they are not alone. They hurry down the road, following the sound, until the monastery rises before them. Stone walls, tall gates, crosses carved into the arch. A place of safety, a place of God, but when they reach the gate, they find it chained shut. The wood is splintered from desperate pounding. Through the cracks, pale hands push outward, reaching, trembling, begging. The monks are inside, but they are not alive. Their faces are thin, their eyes hollow. They groan like men still praying, but no prayer leaves their lips. The bell tolls again. The child looks up at the tower. The rope sways back and forth, but no hand pulls it. The monastery is dead. The child stumbles back, their small body trembling. The whispers have followed them here. The road is cursed and there is no sanctuary left. But still, they cannot stop. They must keep walking, for somewhere ahead something waits. The road stretches on, endless and cruel. The child's legs ache, their throat burns and their belly twists with hunger. Every step feels like the last they can take, and then, finally, weakness wins. The child collapses on the roadside. Their doll slips from their hand, falling into the dirt. The world blurs, heavy and grey. Perhaps this is where their story ends. But then, a shadow falls across their body. The child blinks. A figure stands above them, tall, cloaked in black robes. A mask shaped like a bird's beak juts forward, gleaming in the dim light. The child's breath catches in terror. The figure looks less like a man and more like a nightmare come to life. A plague doctor. The child tries to crawl away, but the stranger kneels slowly, carefully, and offers a hand. His voice comes muffled through the mask, soft, almost kind. "Easy, little one. I bring no harm." From his satchel, he takes a small loaf of bread, a flask of water. The child hesitates, fear in their wide eyes, but hunger wins. They eat, sip, swallow, their strength returning. For the first time in days, someone has shown them mercy, yet not all is comfort. The doctor carries vials of herbs, bundles of garlic, pouches of ash. He sprinkles them in the dirt, whispering prayers or curses under his breath. His hands never stop moving, as though he fights off unseen forces. He warns the child, "Do not look back. The dead too will follow." Together they walk the road. The child clings to the safety of his presence, but doubts gnaw at them. The mask hides his eyes, hides his soul. Who is he? A savior? Or something else? At night, when the child tries to sleep, they hear him muttering, not to them, but to the darkness. His words are low, broken, strange. Sometimes it sounds like he's reciting prayers. Other times, it sounds like he's speaking the names of the dead. The child shivers. They hold their doll close and pretend to sleep. Who is this man? Why does he wander alone in a world that belongs now to death? And what secrets lie behind that mask? One thing is certain. The child has left the silence of their empty village. But in finding a companion, they may have stepped into something far darker. The whispers are not gone. They are closer than ever. The road twists and climbs, carrying the child and the doctor toward a distant hill. Their journey has been long, filled with hunger, silence, and shadows. But as dawn breaks, the child sees it, rising in the mist below, a city once proud, once alive. Now only ruins. Smoke curls from rooftops where fires burn, not for warmth, but to cleanse the streets. Church bells toll endlessly, the sound heavy and hollow, echoing through empty alleys. The city weeps, not with voices but with silence broken by fire and iron. The child looks up at the doctor. "Is there hope here?" They whisper. The man in black does not answer. His mask tilts downward, his silence heavier than words. They descend the hill together. The streets are deserted, though scraps of cloth and broken carts litter the ground. A dog slinks past, ribs showing through skin, dragging a piece of bone. Then, movement. In a crumbling courtyard, the child sees them. A group huddled together in the shadow of a broken fountain. Not monks, not plague doctors, not soldiers. Children, thin, tired, but alive. Their eyes widen at the sight of the lone survivor and the towering stranger in black. For the first time since the village fell silent, the Black Death child is not alone. The doctor lingers at the edge of the square. His shadow stretches long against the stone. He watches as the children gather around their new companion, whispering questions, offering scraps of food, holding hands as if afraid to let go. But he does not step closer. He does not join them. Instead, he turns slightly as if preparing to leave. The child notices. They run back, clutching their doll, looking up at him. "Will you stay?" The mask tilts. For a moment, no sound. Then softly, "My path ends here, yours continues." And before the child can answer, the stranger fades into the smoke, his black robes swallowed by the burning city. Was he a man, a spirit, a guardian sent to lead them this far? The child will never know, but they know this. Survival is no longer just for them. Standing tall, the Black Death child gathers the others. They share food, stories, courage. In their small hands, they carry the weight of those lost and the spark of those yet to live. The plague took everything. Families, villages, even kingdoms, but it could not take this, the will to endure, the light that survives in the smallest of hearts. And so the haunting tale of the Black Death child does not end in despair. It ends in hope. The Black Death swept away millions, tearing apart families, villages, and kingdoms. But in the silence it left behind, one child's story reminds us of something greater. That even in the darkest plague, even when hope seems lost, the human spirit refuses to die. The Black Death child is more than a ghost of history. They are a symbol of survival, courage, and the light that carries us forward through every shadow. And perhaps, somewhere in history's forgotten pages, their footsteps are still echoing, reminding us that we endure.